Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear Vice President Sucha, I want to start by extending a warm thank you to AGE Platform Europe for inviting me to this annual conference. Let me also applaud you for choosing such a timely and important focus for today's discussion. My name is Anna Tenje. Today I'm addressing you as a representative of the Swedish Presidency of the Council of the European Union, but also as a Swedish Minister for Older People and Social Security. When we laid out our presidency's priorities, our aim was to highlight the challenges and opportunities we share despite of our national differences. At the macro level, changing demographics such as our aging population affects all member states, and it is important that we address this transition jointly. Population aging is not a new trend. It began several decades ago and it is extended to continue in the future. The increase in life expectancy is of course a fantastic development, demonstrating that the success of the EU democracies, market economies, welfare states, and our striving to make life better. In fact, not only is life expectancy steadily increasing, on average, the number of healthy years enjoyed in old age is increasing too. However, these positive trends are unevenly distributed across the Union and within member states. We must not forget this. At the same time, as our societies age, we face several challenges linked to rising welfare costs to ensure high quality of life for a growing number of older people, both in terms of pension levels and care services. This is of course a complex and cross-cutting area that has been debated over the years in the EU and amongst member states, in national governments and by social partners and civil society. At the same time, population statistics do not reveal the individuals behind the numbers, nor the experiences, skills and competences. This is something that I wish to focus on in my address to you today. And the core of my message will be this. While we often debate the challenges linked to an aging population, we also need to focus on the rich opportunities that lay ahead of us. Older people's invaluable skills and competences are an enormous resource which must be better harnessed. Employing and retaining experienced older workers is financially sound. It will benefit individuals as well as our economies and societies. During our presidency, we have strived to highlight the importance of encouraging the full potential of older people. For example, we arranged a high-level meeting back in February focused on how to enable longer and more sustainable working lives. We had the honor to welcome Mr. Ebbe Johansen, President of the AGE Platform Europe, to this meeting. These issues were also highlighted during the informal EPSCO meeting that took place in Stockholm early in May. The fight against all forms of age discrimination and the exclusion of the people who can and want to work later in life is central to achieving longer working lives. In Sweden, for example, discrimination on the grounds of age is prohibited by law in different areas of the society, including on the labor market. However, we know that ageism persists and is something that older people face every day on the labor market. We need to recognize that older people are not a burden. They are an invaluable resource that should not be underestimated. Younger workers have so much to learn from their older co-workers, as well as the other way around, of course. I recall that Mr. Johansen himself highlighted the importance of these intergenerational exchanges and the cooperation between younger and older workers at the high-level meeting in February. He also reminded participants of the benefits of age diversity in working places. However, as we grow older, our needs may differ from when we were younger. We may need to revise and adapt existing skills to a changing labor market. As Europe grows older, lifelong learning, skills development and opportunities for change are becoming increasingly important and are a central part of enabling a longer and more sustainable working life. A changing labor market, longer lives and increased retirement ages mean that more people will need to further their education and be prepared to change professions during their working lives. Across member states, several relevant efforts and measures had already been initiated to fulfill this objective. In Sweden, for example, the new student finance scheme for transition and retraining enables adults in the labor market to study while receiving at least 80% of the salary for up to 1 year. This allows workers of all ages to broaden their skills without having to worry about how to pay the bills. Labor market participation is the most important factor to reduce the risk of poverty and social exclusion for people of all ages. On that note, it is important to design national social security and taxation systems in ways to encourage people to work. My focus going forward as a minister in Sweden will be to improve the work incentives in the social protection system, including the pension system, wherever it is possible. Work must always be rewarded, including through higher pensions, and older people with the capacity to work should be encouraged to continue to be professionally active. On a final note, I would also like to stress the importance of civil society, not least in terms of the work carried out to combat ageism and repeatedly remind policymakers to not underestimate Europe's older population. I therefore applaud all organizations here today for your tireless work to support and to give recognition to older people, thereby promoting a more inclusive and age-friendly Europe. I wish you all a successful conference with many fruitful discussions. Thank you so much for listening to me today.